sunshine. Today is the day that we have our official IVF consultation, and I feel kind of nervous and a little emotional. I just want to backtrack a little bit. Today's Monday. About a week and a half ago, I had emailed the nurse to see if there's any way that she can send me pricing for the IVF. I knew what the pricing was for the first clinic I had gone to months ago, but I never knew what the pricing was for this location. I obviously didn't think we would have to get to this point, but it is what it is. And she said that she couldn't send it, she didn't have that information, but she forwarded my email to the IVF consultant in the clinic. Fast forward to last Friday, I finally get the email with that information, and it's almost like I immediately got sad, emotional. The reality of where we're at finally hit me, and I had to really keep my composure because I was at work when I got the email, and my eyes I felt like they were bloodshot red for a while, and obviously I didn't want anyone seeing me that I was on the verge of crying. And maybe even more emotional because Matt was on his flight from China, so he already been on his flight for several hours, and he still had several hours, so I didn't have him to talk to about it. So the only thing I could do was just woosah, like breathe. And I just sent him a text, so as soon as he was able to receive text, like, he would immediately get it. So I gave him a quick breakdown and forwarded him the email. And when he finally did receive it, he's like, we're obviously gonna have to talk about this in person because it was a lot more expensive than we had thought it was gonna be. Just because like the other clinic had its pricing for like IUI and stuff like that, and this clinic was significantly lower, so we were hoping that the IVF was significantly lower. It was lower by a few $1,000s, but we thought it was going to be even lower. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I have cried Friday. I cried actually this morning just a little bit because as soon as I jumped out of the shower, I saw Matt with a big old smile on his face. I'm like, why are you smiling? That's so weird. And he's like, oh, today's the day that we do the, we have the consultation. And like, I put my head on his shoulder, and it just like the tears started coming down, and I was like, I'm so sad that this is where we're at. But yeah, after all these months and months that we've been officially going through this infertility, or like officially, right? Like officially going through this infertility, it finally hit me. I finally broke down, and even talking about it makes me emotional. So I'm gonna go right now to the clinic. Well, actually, I'm first going to meet Matt at the dealership because he had to drop off his car to do some maintenance, and then we're both gonna go to the clinic and then to work. So I'm not gonna cry. I brought extra makeup just in case, but yeah, I'll give you guys an update as soon as we know what's happening. By myself because Matthew decided to stay home. He's only been home from China for like 2 days, and his sleep schedule is all over the place. So he's been up since 3 in the morning already. He decided after the appointment that he wasn't gonna go to work. Aside from that, the news that I got was not good. I'm pretty upset. One, because they are pretty convinced that I have endometriosis, they're not going to do a fresh transfer, which means that anywhere between 3 to 5 days after the egg retrieval, they would have transferred 1 or 2 embryos, whatever it is that we decided. And I lost my train of thought. I feel like a lot happens. Okay, so because of that, there's one thing that the first thing that happened was that they forgot, and I know I mentioned it probably a few videos ago, a genetics test to see if I have anything in my blood that, you know, if I have it, see if Matt has it, whatever it is. And they were like, that takes 3 weeks, so they could postpone this whole process by another 3 weeks, which is super upsetting because I've been to the doctor so many times. Why have they not told me about getting this test done if they knew it was going to take this long? Like, why is it that now that we're in the IVF process, like, now they want to do the test? I've been on birth control for 3 weeks. They could have taken the test 3 weeks ago. Sorry. So that's one thing, right? So I did the genetics test today. It's gonna take 3 weeks. If I come back negative, then Matt doesn't have to do it. If I come back positive for something, then Matt needs to do it to see if it comes out positive too. Whatever. We decided to push through to do the egg retrieval in about 3 weeks. I have 7 appointments leading up to it, blood work, labs, and injection class to teach me how to give myself my injections for the egg retrieval. They also told me that what did they tell me? Oh, so I asked like a few questions like diet and stuff like that, and they said to avoid soy. She said to avoid exercising like 10 days or so before the retrieval. It's like, you can walk, but do not exercise because you do not want to do any damage to those eggs. No more than maybe like 50 pounds of lifting of whatever it is, anything, boxes, anything. Sex needs to be with a condom, because if by some weird chance we end up getting pregnant naturally, all the injections are not good for the baby. So they're like, we want to avoid you from getting pregnant naturally on all the medications that you're on. What else? There's so much information. Yeah, and then they gave me the pricing again, but this time around, because it's not a fresh transfer, the pricing is different. And it was like an additional $3,000. So obviously Matt and I just about had a heart attack. I don't even know what to think. I am upset. I'm happy that the egg retrieval, we decided to push through without having genetics test results back in time for it. But I'm beyond upset that our first transfer won't be for another 4 months at the earliest. And I had asked like, oh, what's the price for like a second transfer? Because one thing is, you know, I know the price right now, it's so expensive because you have to do the egg retrieval and all these medications and whatnot. And the lady it wasn't like IVF consultant, it was the lady pretty much checking us out and was the one that gave us the pricing. She was like, well, if you have an extra egg to transfer, it would be X amount of dollars. And I'm sitting there like, why does she... Some of these people need to be a little bit more positive. Like, oh, if you have an extra egg, like, if you have extra embryos, sorry. Yeah, I know there's a chance or I could have 1 egg, 0 eggs, 5 eggs, 10 eggs, whatever, embryos, whatever. I'm already getting the names confused. But can we be a little bit more positive? I just asked you a question. What is the cost to do a second transfer if the first one fails? That's what I need to know. Not the possibility like, oh, if you have an embryo. I want to know what the price is. That's all I need to know. Yeah, so the price that they gave us does not include medication, and the price is already ridiculous, like ridiculous. And medication alone is thousands of dollars. So I don't even know what to think. I'm just pretty upset. Whew. We're not gonna cry. We're gonna get it together. We're totally getting it together. So yeah, there's always a possibility that nothing works, and we are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in this. So I've already discussed it with Matt, the possibility of adoption. I've been open to it since before we decided to start having kids. It's been something that I've always thought it was a beautiful thing. So adoption is still an option. I mean, we're gonna go through with the IVF, but in the situation that it doesn't work, and there's always that chance, I've been 100% open to adoption. Matt is open to it, although he wants to push through with, he says, oh, we should at least try 6 cycles, at least transfer 6 embryos, and at the most, right? And I'm like, but it all depends on how many embryos we get out of this egg retrieval and how many fertilize, how many, if you ever look into the process, like, one thing is retrieving eggs, another thing is fertilizing it, and there's been women who end up with like 20 something eggs and end up with 1 embryo. So you literally have no idea what you're gonna end up with. So Matt is in for, if everything goes, I don't know, as planned, he's willing to do up to 6 transfers. I don't know if I can physically deal with 6 transfers because that's a lot on the body. But he may be eventually, well, I guess Jesus Christ, he has no other choice. Like, if we don't get a child out of this, then I'm going through adoption. I'm gonna do everything possible. And that's what we're at. I'm pretty upset, again, because I thought I was gonna do a transfer starting next month, and it's gonna be another 4 months, at least another 4 months before that happens. So I'm pretty upset. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with that, and I will give you guys another update as soon as I have something. So you guys know what's up. You always comment down below with some luck. Wish us some luck. Bye.